if I don't change this habit, what is going to be my future? That alone, should scare the crap out of you. For me, it was realizing if I kept watching porn every day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, I was going to be miserable and alone, and I didn't want that to happen. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Unhooked Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Lipkowitz. And on today's episode, going to revisit a clip that I made for YouTube years ago, talking about how I overcame my own addiction to pornography. And in this clip, I talk about the tool or the technique or the skill of envisioning and why that is such an important tool in recovery. So stay tuned. So if you want to break free from porn, there's one important thing that most people overlook. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about one simple thing that you can do to give yourself the best possible chance to break free from some of these unwholesome habits around porn addiction, sex addiction, things of that nature. And what this topic really relates to is something that I call envisioning. And this is where we take the time out of our day to reflect on the type of life we hope to have for ourselves in the future. So we envision a greater future for ourselves. The reason that this is so important is that when we're addicted to pornography or sex or dating apps or whatever it is, we're usually focused on the short-term pleasure that it's going to bring. Now, there's nothing wrong with pleasure, but when we're entirely focused on short-term pleasure as opposed to long-term goals and, things we want to bring about for ourselves in the long term, if we're just focused on that short-term pleasure, we're not going to make any progress on our long-term goals. There's been a lot of studies of some of the most successful people in the world, and some of these studies have found that truly successful people, what they do differently is they focus on the long-term perspective. So they have this kind of greater time perspective where they're not just thinking about what's important in the short term. They're thinking about where do I want to get in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. For myself, when I was breaking free from my own porn addiction, this was super powerful. And it was actually, in my eyes, I think it was the reflection that really caused me to finally break free from porn addiction. And I still remember to this day, it was so long ago, but I remember stopping and thinking about my future. And I remember kind of the negative side and the positive side. And I remember thinking, if I continue to watch porn the way I'm watching porn now, if I keep watching multiple hours a day, and I'm looking at the type of material that I'm watching, if I keep doing this, what is my future going to bring? And I thought about, I don't want to be some perverted old man that's still looking at porn when he's in his 60s and 70s. I don't want to be the type of person that's creeping on, 20-year-old girls when I'm 65 or 70. And thinking about that future made me realize this is not the future I want for myself. Now, conversely, having this reflection and thinking about what do I want, and I stopped and I thought about who are the people that I look up to? What are some of the role models I have? And it might not be a particular person. It might be an ideal that you're looking up to. It might be a characteristic or a quality that you aspire to have. So for me, one of the ideals that I looked up to was this quality of masculinity, but for me what that means is this strength and protectiveness, so making others feel safe, so not imposing my selfish desires upon other people, but being a refuge for other people. When I think of true masculinity and what that means, for me what it means is being a refuge for people, so being a source of safety and protection for those around you, whether it's for other women or for other men, but being a source of strength for people, being a protector, caring for other people. When I think about some of the great people of our generation, someone like Martin Luther King Jr., they endured a lot of suffering, but they used that power, they used that suffering to protect those who they're fighting for. And that's a real source of strength. And so just, look at the difference there between like when I thought about what my future would be if I kept watching porn, I would be some miserable, lonely, perverted old man hitting on college girls. Or thinking about the future that's possible for myself if I spend time cultivating some of these characteristics, like, to be in the same, even realm of thought of people like Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela or the Dalai Lama. It's a huge difference in the kind of life that it brings about. And that reflection alone can cause a lot of, it can bring out a lot of energy towards your purpose of breaking free from online pornography. And for me, it really did. I mean, even just that first part of thinking, if I don't change this habit, what is going to be my future? That alone, should scare the crap out of you. For me, it was realizing if I kept watching porn every day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, I was going to be miserable and alone, and I didn't want that to happen. So the importance of this long-term perspective, I can't stress it enough, to think about, to spend time, maybe even once a month, but once a week, once a month, at least once a year, thinking about if I continue doing what I'm doing today, what is that going to mean for my future? This doesn't have to be just about porn. It can be about your diet, what kind of foods you're eating, your nutrition. It can be about, how you're spending time with your loved ones. For me, that was another realization that I had is if I treat my friends the way I'm treating them, I'm going to be lonely. If I don't make time for my friends, then it's not going to lead me to the places I want it to lead. So I hope that this idea is helpful for you to spend time reflecting on your future, reflecting on both the positives and negatives. If I don't change, what is this going to lead to? And where do I want to go? So if I do change, if I do make these changes, where is the potential for me? Where can I get to? And reflecting on your role models is huge. Finding some people where you say, that's how I want to live. I want to be like this person. So I would say if you don't have some role models, go do some research. They don't have to be real people. They can be fictional. So oftentimes I will reflect on Gandalf, the White Wizard. For me, he's a great source of inspiration. He's the type of person that I want to be. He cares for people. He's wise. He's intelligent. He's powerful, he's a wizard. So it's kind of hard to beat that. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions, definitely let me know. You can do a journaling practice. You can just reflect on it. You can bring it into your next meditation. And let me know how it goes in the comments below. I would love it also if you subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. It's really helpful for me, like a little boost of confidence for me that I love seeing when you guys are subscribing. And that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.